How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Today's video is going to be a mastery helicopter class on a specific map in Battlefield 6. So with that being said, everybody, welcome to Blackwell Fields. Blackwell Fields is a beautiful map in my opinion, but it is widely regarded to be a nightmare to fly on for a lot of helicopter pilots. In recent updates, they have made expansions to the flyable airspace and also an update to tanks, AA specifically, to where they are no longer protected by the C-ram in their spawn anymore, making this a much more enjoyable experience for a lot more casual pilots. I personally love this map, and my goal after this video is for you guys to love it as well. I know a rework is right around the corner, but I hope that this video is going to help some of you until that rework actually arrives. This is going to be starting off a brand new series for my channel to help every one of you become a better pilot in Battlefield 6. My goal is an in-depth guide on every single map in the game and breaking down what you need to know to master every single map as a helicopter pilot with the attack helicopter and the Little Bird helicopter. A lot of this information is going to be more in an advanced tier compared to my previous guides and tutorials that simply cover your basic controls and handling. This is going to really focus on what lanes you want to fly in, target priority, cover usage, where to spend your time, and a lot more. We're going to cover every single map from top to bottom that contains helicopters in Battlefield 6. That all being said, let's jump into it. So as I said earlier, let's go ahead and start out with an explanation of the map as a whole. Now, what I have pulled up on screen right now is a picture of Blackwell Fields laid out just like it would look like on your mini-map. Even though this sounds like it's going to be a really long video to put all this information into it, it's actually not a whole lot once you get your head wrapped around it. So the first thing I'm going to start out with is the map as a whole and what lanes you're going to start off with. Let's start from the very beginning when you spawn into a fresh game on Blackwell Fields. If you're NATO, your helicopter is going to spawn right here on this X. The very first thing you want to do when you get into this helicopter is to immediately fly over here and then fly down the runway. At this point in time, you're going to have a decision to make. You can either head to the right around this side of the mountain into this trench, or you can head to the left down this trench. Your decision making at this point in time depends on if you see the enemy helicopter pilot or not. If the enemy helicopter pilot is doing it right on their side as well, their job is going to be to come up over this mountain and come down here and meet you somewhere in this location. So when you reach this location as the NATO side, when you are looking over to the left side, if you do not see their helicopter or they haven't came off of the ground yet, you are going to want to go to the right. What this is going to enable you to do is to come around the right side of the mountain and get a complete jump on the enemy helicopter pilot where they're not going to see you coming. Here's an example of what that looks like. Now, if you reach this point right here and the enemy helicopter pilot sees you, they're coming over, you're coming straight, there's no reason to waste your time. You're going to want to engage that pilot and you want to try to have high ground if possible. So as soon as you notice they see you, start to gain height, move in, and try to take out that enemy pilot to secure this location on the map. Now, that all being said, this is where your main confrontation happens. As long as you secure that, this is the location of the map that you're going to want to have full control of regardless of what team you are on. This is the gold zone. This is the zone that you're going to be spending most of your time as a helicopter pilot in this match. Your job, if you are on the NATO team, is to make sure that your team always maintains control of Foxtrot so you have protection on this side when you are using this mountain as cover to help attack Bravo and Delta. If the enemy team captures Foxtrot, they can shoot you with AA, rockets, tanks, anything else. So you want to make sure you're always keeping Foxtrot under control as the NATO team. That is top priority for objective. That way you have full safety back here on this side of the mountain. If you are the PAX pilot, just like I mentioned earlier, your first rotation is going to be coming over the mountain. If you win this fight as the PAX heli, same concept. You want full control of this gold zone, but your job is to make sure that you never lose Bravo. Alpha as well. You have two objectives that you need to maintain control of primarily as the PAX team. Alpha is not as important as Bravo, but Bravo is extremely important because, again, this whole side of the mountain, you're going to want to be in protection, and if they have Bravo, they are going to be able to shoot you. So maintaining Bravo as PAX is very, very important, and maintaining Foxtrot as NATO is very, very important. All right, so now that we know that you have full control of this location after the first engagement with the enemy helicopter pilot, let's go ahead and talk as if you are on the NATO team. So if you have control of this zone, your main priority is going to be controlling Foxtrot, and then making sure that you're doing everything you can to help your team capture Delta. These are going to be your main two key objectives to try to focus on. Your rotations are going to be primarily as follows. There's going to be a little outcropping right here where you're going to be spending a lot of your time. That gives you really good protection, and your job is out of this outcropping to make different pushes around over here to Delta and then rotating back and around. This is called a short rotation. And then you're also going to have another rotation where you come up and over to hit Bravo and then rotate back up into this location as well. These are your two main short rotations that you're going to be doing a lot of the time, hitting Delta, hitting Bravo. This is a heavy AA map, so you're going to be getting locked onto a lot. So you're going to probably be using flares somewhere around these X's when you're making these rotations. And as soon as you use flares, you want to loop back into the protection of this zone on the backside of this mountain. This gives you two key points that you can attack as the helicopter pilot. Now, clearing that out, if you're able to make a rotation out to Delta and you reach this point and you're not being locked onto at all, you can now at this point in time push more over into Echo to give some support to Echo. Or if you see Charlie, you can make a push over to Charlie to give support there as well. The one thing you want to keep an eye open for is if you get painted. If you are painted, you do not want to overextend the Charlie because you cannot get below radar out here in this field to protect yourself reliably. You can use cover to block incoming rockets, but unless you're a really, really good pilot, this can be really hard to do. So if you're painted when you're reaching around this location in the map, hit Echo and then make sure you rotate back to spawn for spawn protection with the CRAM in your base. If you're not painted, it's just AA lock. What you can do is you can rotate over to Charlie, hit Charlie, and then rotate back up to your spawn. These are going to be your main key rotations when you are fighting this map when you're on the NATO team, and those are going to be your main spots that you're going to be spending most of your time. Now you're going to be repeating this throughout the game, looking for enemy armor, looking for enemy infantry, and keeping mental track of 1 minute and 30 seconds for when the enemy helicopters go into spawn. Now let's back up and let's say that you're on the PAX team. What you're going to want to do on PAX, again, same rotation we talked about, take out the enemy pilot, gain control of this golden zone up here on the top of the map. There's a nice little spot right in here where you're going to be spending a majority of your time. This little spot protects you from all angles. It's like a little sea cove, and other than jets and the enemy helicopter, you really don't have anything to worry about. What you're going to be doing here is making sure you keep full control of Bravo and keeping a side eye on Alpha. If Alpha's being contested a lot, they can push up and pinch Bravo if they've also got Delta. So you'll want to spend more time back here clearing out Alpha and then using your CRAM for protection as you're making those rotations. Now, as long as your team has control of Alpha and control of Bravo, what you're going to be doing here is making routes out to Foxtrot, hitting enemy armor, and then rotating back and around and inside. You're also going to be doing top overruns over here to Delta and then rotating back around as well. Again, small, short rotations targeting each of these objectives individually without overextending, because again, somewhere right in here, it's very likely that you're going to start getting locked onto, and you're going to have to pop flares, rotate back, wait for your flares to regen, and then repeat that again. Now, again, same principle applies. This is going to be a very common concept that you're going to see in a lot of the future videos that I make. I'm not going to spend as much time on it. I'm spending a little bit of extra time right now because this is the first video of the series talking over the strategy of how to make these rotations. So if you come up over the top of the mountain and you see you shoot some tanks that are here, some infantry, and you're not locked onto still, this is again where you can make that full rotation to Echo and loop back, assist on Charlie, assist on Alpha if you need to, and then rotate back around. If you have to use flares here, as long as you're not painted, rotate down, below radar, all the way back to your safe spot. Now, when you're making all these rotations, keep an eye on the enemy pilots. Make sure their helicopters are not coming online. If they are, make sure that you take them out. If you're dealing with jets, focus on those. But you're going to want to fight the jets back in this location if you're dealing with a lot of heavy jet pressure. You want to make sure that you're using these mountains as cover so the main battlefield out here cannot lock onto you as easily. And you kind of have this little gold zone, which is what I like to call it, where you can spend a majority of your time in safety, regen, repair, and just keep an eye on the battlefield. Now that we've covered all of the rotations, there's a couple spots on this map that you need to keep your eye on at all times. These are going to be weapon stations that are going to be able to take you out really easily, so you need to keep it in the back of your mind who has control of this area. If your team controls the zone, you can kind of put it to the back of your mind. If the enemy controls the zone or the zone near it, you're going to have to keep it at the front of your mind. Over here by Charlie, you are going to have a tow station emplacement located right here. Over here in the field, you are going to have an AA emplacement over here. Over here by Echo, you're going to have another tow emplacement. And then over here in Foxtrot, you are going to have another tow emplacement. So again, right here, tow. Down here, you're going to have the AA. Over here, you're going to have another tow. And then over here, you're going to have another tow. So when you're making all of your rotations and you're hanging up in this zone, just keep an eye on looking for incoming missile icons from the Foxtrot tow station, the Echo tow station, the Charlie tow station, and then also the stationary emplacement over here in between Echo and Charlie. Now on the back side of that, you're going to have the enemy AA tank, which typically is going to be sitting here a majority of the time. Benefit of that is now they don't have it to where the CRAM, which is located over here, is going to be able to protect that tank. So you can actually make a really quick rotation in to blow up that tank and then use this mountain back here as cover and then rotate back over here into spawn. So if you're leaving your HQ, you know that that AA tank is hanging out right there. What you can do when you leave on the pack side is you can make this rotation, fly nice and low, and then come up over the top high right here over Delta, and then come down, hit that AA tank, circle back for a second pass if you have to, blow it up, and then rotate low below radar back to spawn. Again, presuming that you're not painted, because if you are painted, that's going to put you in a bad situation. If you are on the NATO team, same rules apply. Tow station, AA, and tow station. So keep an eye on all four of those. Depending on what objectives are controlled by which team, you want to keep an eye on it. Enemy AA tanks on the pack side are typically going to be sitting somewhere over here on these mountains. What you can do is, as long as you have air superiority, you can go back here, trace the backside of these mountains, and then come back up over the top right here to do those strafe runs to blow up those AA tanks, and then rotate back around back to spawn protection. Keep an eye somewhere right around here and right around here for when you're going to be getting locked on or painted. If you're getting painted early on in the rotation right here, sometimes it's better just to fall back and then reset instead of going all the way through. But if you don't get painted, just make the full rotation, because then once you get over here and get below radar, odds are you're going to outrun any missiles that they paint and then lock onto you and shoot by the time you get back to your CRAM protection. All right, you guys, now that we have covered the map and a lot of details around Blackwell Fields, now I want to voice over some of my own gameplay and just tell you guys about my decision making and why I do the things that I do. So I just took some random gameplay footage that I had recorded on my computer, and I'll use it here. So first off, enemy helicopter, first target priority. As you can see, I took him out of the sky right away. Now what I do at this point in time, I notice that a jet is walking towards me, flying towards me. He wasn't really looking at me, it's just he was in my direction, so I didn't have to worry about it too much. Next target is the AA tank, so I'm sitting back here. They have no idea I'm over here in this golden zone. Easy kill on their AA tank. And then their Bradley and their main battle tank is sitting down there as well. Now I don't want to get towed out of the sky, so that's why I disengaged right there. I wanted to fall back a little bit so I could get a better pass than what I already had. Unfortunately, the Bradley died before I could get to him, so I decided to go for the main battle tank instead. I ended up switching to the gunner seat a couple of times here to secure a couple of extra kills. I don't do that a whole lot, but I do it once in a while. Flip a tow missile back, kill the tank. I'm still not getting locked on, and so what I do is I take advantage of the situation that they don't have anybody running AA yet in this game really, to take out as much infantry as I can. So you're gonna notice I'm gonna seat swap again, take out another infantry, and I'm just gonna take full advantage and abuse their team as much as I possibly can while I'm not dealing with any lock-ons. So again, a lot of infantry over on Delta, some rockets, switch to the gunner, and clean up a couple more guys using the thermals. Go over here to Echo, see a whole bunch more people over here by Echo as well. Again, still not painted, still not locked, so I'm just going to be taking full advantage of the situation as long as I can. If you're not getting painted or locked, it's only a matter of time before they start doing it, so take advantage of it. So I'm going to rotate back around right here. I'm going to flip back around. I see a transport truck. I take him out as well, and we are just dealing enormous damage to the enemy team. So I just got painted, locked, incoming missiles, so that's why I rotated back to my spawn right there. If it wasn't for the paint, it wouldn't have been a big deal. Their helicopter comes around the top. This is just moments later. A couple heavy rockets into them, switch to the gunner seat, and I finish them off with the gunner seat. Really good way to kill enemy pilots when you're solo is just like that. Utilize that gunner seat. Now, right here, I'm just going to use the golden zone again. Just doing a reset. Now, this I want to talk about really quick. So when I'm sitting right here in this little zone, what I end up doing is I pull up my mini map. And now I do this every once in a while when I'm playing. And what this allows me to do is to get a snapshot of the map and look for any enemy tanks and where people might be at. And right here by Delta, I notice a Bradley and his back is to me. So what I end up doing right here is I end up shutting my mini map. I see him. I come up over the top. I know right where he's at. So I pre-fire the tow missile. An easy hit into the Bradley. Incoming rocket. So I use flares. But like I said, short rotation. I just rotate right back around, right back into that gold zone. Bradley's down. I noticed in the chat that my teammate says, Heli, take them out, all at sea. And so what I do is I redirect my attention over to Charlie because my team is saying there's a lot of them over here. Sure enough, I come up over the top of the mountain and they are just all over this hill. It's like a little anthill down here. I light them up with heavy rockets. I drop down over here. Now look at my flares on the bottom right. Notice they're at 50%. Right as they hit about 80%, I come right back up. Because now that my flares are at a point where I can pretty much be safe, I don't got to worry about it too much. And even still, I'm overly cautious. You'll notice I'm still flying below radar a lot. But right here is where you'll notice that I really do come up. Now, I just got hit by the AA tank's guided shell right there. And so now keep him in the back of your head. Remember that he's over here. This is another key point that I want to point out to you guys. Here's what just happened. AA tank just hit me with a rocket. And so in my head, I'm going to be making a rotation to come over to kill that AA tank. But something catches me by surprise right here. As I come over this mountain, look at the left side of the screen. You're going to notice that I have a jet right here shooting down at something. I didn't see any jets on the enemy team. So my first thought goes to enemy helicopter is trying to rotate around on me right now. So sure enough, I come up over the top and there he is. Enemy helicopter is located right over here. My jet gave him away for me and let me know he was there. If it was not for my teammate in the jet shooting at him, I would have made this rotation to their AA tank and he would have got right behind me and it would have been a really easy kill for their helicopter. So kudos to my teammate in the jets. So remember that AA tank? So here I come. So tow missile right into the AA tank, a couple heavy rockets, and then a couple more heavy rockets. Just like that, AA tank is dead. He's done. I noticed they had a Bradley that was sitting over there as well. That Bradley was shooting tow missiles at me. So I'm using this little mountainous range over here as a defense between me and their tanks. My flares are almost back up, so I'm coming back up. Easy hit on the Bradley. A couple more easy hits on him. Gunner finishes them off. And just like that, they're all taken care of. I pop flares. I drop down. And I fall right back into this gold zone for a nice little reset before I look for my next targets. As soon as I come back up over the top of the mountain right here, there's an armored truck sitting on the hill with some infantry. So easy kills. I just light them up with the heavy rockets and the tow missile and I take them out immediately. Then what I do, another short little rotation. I kind of drop back around to get my bearings and I try to find my next target. Now I ended up making another rotation, came back around. Their helicopter spawned again. So again, I pop a tow missile out, take out the enemy helicopter. And then what I do now is I reset because I had the ADS glitch. So I had to seat swap really quick. Drop another tow missile out to the Bradley on their team over here. Easy hit, 550 damage. And I finished them off with the heavy rockets right here. So just like that, helicopter and Bradley's taken care of. I'm going to drop back down. I see jet icons on my map. So I know there's a jet coming for me. He's doing a slow swoop. So I flip back around, drop a tow missile out. And now this is a really, really nice shot. I could give myself a little credit here, but I drop it right up and take out the enemy jet. He wasn't very happy about that either. You'll see that in the chat in a couple of minutes. So drop back down over here on the left side. They've got AA tanks sitting in their spawn again. So I'm gonna pop up right here. Another tow missile. Hit the, oh, I missed the tank actually. A couple of good heavy rocket hits though. There he is in chat. That missile was so broken. So again, same thing as you guys saw earlier. I'm just repeating what I did. I didn't talk about this a lot in the video, but you can utilize this little back section right here where I'm at right now if your team holds echo. And it is a beautiful spot to take care of all the tanks that they have camping in their spawn. So AA tank is done. I'm gonna drop back down again. I know they still have a main battle tank that's sitting up there. So I'm gonna rotate back, come back up, and see if I can take out that tank as well. Now, you'll see that the AA actually survived. That was my thought process though. So I ended up just diverting my attention back to the AA tank and taking him out. Bunch of infantry over here. Couple shots. Had to use flares. So because I used flares, I'm dropping down, rotating back around over here into this gold zone. And we're just going to chill, reset, and look for some more targets. A lot of infantry over on the right side. A lot of pilots would jump right on that. But I know their heli's up. So I jump right down and take out the enemy helicopter. Then I'm going to look for more tanks. There's two types of pilots in this game in the attack helicopter. You got attack helicopter pilots that like to just kill infantry. And you got heli pilots like me that like to mainly focus armor. And then you've got gunner focused pilots that do circles and let their gunners farm high kill games. You know, 100 to 200, even probably before you know it, there's going to be a 300 kill game out there with a really good gunner and a pilot duo. But that focus is completely different. Again, taking out some vehicles and then rotating back around over here. A jet coming for me, so I'm using these barrels to try to stay as low as I can. Pretty much if you have a jet after you like that, you want to try to get as low as you can and utilize cover to your advantage the best that you can. Now, the rest of this game, for the most part, is just going to be me taking out some extra infantry, maybe a Jeep here or there. But that pretty much summarizes this game up into a nutshell. It's pretty much over at this point. They only have 150 tickets left. And really at this point in the game, it's just going to be me picking off a couple of infantry to finish off the game. Now let's talk about me making a mistake and overextending a little bit here. Right here, I ended up getting painted and I had to use my flares because of a lock-on. Now right here, it kind of confuses me. I don't have any paint icon, as you guys can tell on the screen, but you'll notice that right here, I get a split-second notification that painting is starting to happen and then immediately locking. So in a matter of a fraction of a second, I got notified that I was being painted and then immediately being locked. And so sometimes things can be really inconsistent in this game when you're flying the attack helicopter and you're not going to get accurate readings. Luckily, I was really close to these oil barrels. And so you'll notice that as it says incoming missile, I just tilt my helicopter back right here and I land right here next to these barrels and use them to intercept the rocket. That's not a situation when you find yourself in. Even the explosion of those barrels almost killed me. So you got to be really careful trying to overextend like that, because it's an easy way to get yourself killed when things can be a little inconsistent like they can be in this game from time to time. I end up rotating back over here to my base, resetting, and then I noticed they're enemy helicopter pilot, so I drop a tow out and just take him out of the game really quick to give me another minute and 30 seconds of freedom on the map. Now this is just a few moments later. I came back over here over to the mountain that I told you guys about earlier. Took a couple shots, took out a tank, but I overextend right here dramatically. You'll notice that I'm painted right now. And what I end up doing is I do some slow rotations right here because I'm trying to get my gunner some kills. But I get a little greedy right here. Instead of rotating back to the left behind the mountain, I decide to rotate back into the map, which right here, you'll notice that I get locked onto and I got incoming missile. Now, in the back of my head, I know I got my flares, so I'm thinking I have flares, so I just got to pop my flares and I'll be just fine. What ends up happening is I use my flares, and then I get shot right through my flares by the guy using the igla right in front of me. And so because of that, this threw a wrench in my entire situation. Now I'm painted, being locked, have no flares, and I was disabled for a minute, so it negated my ability to get where I needed to get. So what I do is I drop down over here and I flip right next to these barrels as a last second decision. Rocket hits them, barely get away from that whole situation. So flares are at about 90% now. I come right back up, and I look for any targets I might be able to clean up. A couple infantry over here, and then I'm just going to rotate right back over here to the right hand side, right down into the gold zone, and just do another reset after being locked by 50 things. Flip around, see the enemy helicopter coming in, shoot him with a tow missile, take him out again. Now I got another minute and 30 seconds to just enjoy myself on the map without any helicopter pressure from the enemy team. Another helicopter comes online again, and once again I take him out, and then painting, I drop back down again, rotate back over here to spawn, and rotate back over here into the gold zone. This is where everything gets messed up. I was being locked and targeted by all the tanks over in their spawn. The last thing that I was expecting was this jet to come up behind me with lock-ons out of the blue. So my thought process right here before the jet showed up was I have this mountain range right here on my left-hand side to protect me if they were going to fire any rockets at me. Plus I have the building here. And so I have all this sideways facing structure that I can get down behind so I don't got to worry about those lock-ins coming. I did not account for a jet to be locking me while I'm painted. So what I end up doing is a last second decision. I drop down right here behind this building. Both AA rockets end up hitting the building. Then I flip back at the jet for my gunner, and my gunner just absolutely melts them and takes them out. And that gives us a nice clean slate, nice clean reset. So we float right back on over here, and we just look around for our next engagement. All right, everybody, I think that's going to do it for today's video. I really hope that this guide on Blackwell Fields helps some of you learn how to fly on this map and navigate this map a little bit easier. Like I said, I know this map is getting a big redesign coming soon, so I know this is going to become outdated relatively quickly, but that's also the reason why I wanted to put this video out before I start doing the other maps. Now, while this video is strictly dedicated to Blackwell, I think that there's a lot of things that you guys can take from this video and start applying them to all of the other maps before I even start making the videos for them. But keep your eyes open. I have a lot more videos coming down the pipeline, the best that I can. I'm doing everything I can to get some content out to you guys. I'm pretty busy in real life right now. I just bought my first house and we're moving right now. And I'm going to be setting up a new studio and getting everything all dialed in. That way I can make even better content for you guys. And I just want to let all of you know I love and appreciate every single one of you that has supported me over this last crazy 7 to 8 month journey that I've had. So that being said, I love every single one of you guys. Don't forget to look down in the description below. I am going to have links to all of my guides, all of my tutorials, and then keep your eyes open for upcoming videos as well. I'm going to start working on more of those for you guys. I'll get them rolled out as soon as I can. Also, if you want to watch me do this stuff live, feel free to check me out on YouTube, TikTok, or Twitch. I do stream from Thursday to Monday, and I do have Tuesday, Wednesday off. That gives you a chance to actually interact with me and talk with me live, and I stream from 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Pacific time. The last favor I have to ask is if you guys did enjoy the video, don't forget to like the video, subscribe, share it with your friends, and turn on notifications for future content. That being said, appreciate you guys, and I will see you in the next video. Take care.